everybody. Welcome to Miss Holloman's music class. Thank you for joining me today. We're going to be covering a music technology that I have found to be very useful in my music classroom, especially this past year while we were doing virtual learning, and even in my classroom when the kids were being integrated back into the rooms. A lot of you are probably familiar with this particular online platform that you can use to quiz your kids. Some of you may have heard of it but just haven't found the time to actually access it. Some of you may be using it but not really sure how to utilize all the different features. So hopefully this video answers those questions that you may have. And if you by the end of the video, if you find that you still have more questions, please feel free to contact me. And as always, if you're coming to this video from my YouTube channel, make sure to go visit my website where you can find access to even more videos, lmhmusicteacher.wix with an x.com, .wixsite.com/mysite. Just make sure to go visit me over there. And if you found this video via my website, make sure you find me on the YouTube at Miss Holloman's Music Class, and hit that subscribe button and hit that like button on any videos that you'd like. Ask me questions, things that you'd like to see more of. But you know what? Enough of me talking about me. Let's jump on in and help you guys out with a really cool online platform that I think you guys are going to find very useful in your classroom. Okay, you guys, so we're going to be looking at Kahoot.com. And again, some of you guys are probably already familiar with this. Maybe you're not sure of all the features. Some of you may have never even heard of this before. I do know that, especially with this past year and the pandemic, that a lot of us are having to learn these new platforms, online, apps, different technologies and things like that. But sometimes it can be hard to find stuff to use for the music classroom. So we're going to talk specifically about Kahoot and what it can do for you. So when you go to Kahoot, you can do free Kahoot. It doesn't cost anything, but you are just getting a basic package, so there are some features that you can't access if you're not paying for it. Some of the things that you get when you do pay for Kahoot is you're able to do different kinds of questions in your Kahoot quizzes. Things like putting puzzles back together. I'm trying to remember what some of them, typing in the answer, and you can see right here, whenever you log in, a lot of times, or once you create your account, it'll show you the packages. So like I said, the basic package is free. This is where you get to create your Kahoots with quiz questions. You can host and play Kahoots. You can assign student-paced challenges, basically meaning that you're taking the link to that particular Kahoot and you're setting it up as a game that they do on their own. And I'll show you how to do that in just a second. And you can have, with the basic package, up to 100 players per game. Now, when you go to the Kahoot Pro, this adds polls, puzzles, and multi-select answers that you can do. You also have advanced options for slide layouts. There's a very large image library that you can go through, and you can add up to 200 per game. Kahoot Premium, you can see here, you can do where they actually type in the answer for the question. You can have more teacher groups, personalized learning, and up to 500 players. And if you want to, spend that money, which if you look right now, they've actually got Kahoot Premium discounted. And this is where you have unlimited teacher groups, lesson plans that go with your Kahoots to help you out if you need some lesson plan ideas, access to more learning apps, and you can have up to 2,000 players per game. Now, if you upgrade before June 30th, the first 4 months are on them, as you can see. So if you catch it every now and then, you can catch deals. Even the Kahoot Pro, where you're normally paying $3 per month, you're getting now $2 per teacher per month. Now you can do these on your own, or if you can get your school to pay for the Kahoot, you can see that they do, like for the premium, $6 per teacher per month. So if you do it per the whole school, it'll be, you're looking at, it says $72.36 billed annually. So just look into the packages, talk to your administration about possibly getting Kahoot for the whole school. It is definitely a useful tool. So now I'm going to jump right in. And this is when you go into Kahoot, this is the one of the first things that you see. It's got you layout like this. And you can see over here on the right hand side, you've got where it's listed that your particular Kahoots. And if you're doing any team stuff and you're collaborating, maybe if you've got a group of teachers, maybe you're the 5th and 6th grade teacher and you've got some 3rd and 4th grade music teachers, y'all can collaborate on some things here in the team space. Now, when you want to find Kahoots, you can create Kahoots, but I have actually found that there's pretty well a Kahoot for any music topic that you can think of. So just for example, let's say that you guys are discussing treble clef note names with your kids, whether they're high school, junior high, elementary, it doesn't matter. So you can type in treble clef note names, treble clef identification, just basic things like that. And you can see that we've pulled up just over 42,000 different results. Now, a lot of times the ones at the very beginning when you're doing your discover are the ones that are going to be most relevant to your topic that you typed in. So what you can do is you scroll down, find the one that you like. Just for example, I'm going to pick this first one. It says it's got 14 questions. Once you click on it, you can take a peek at it real quick. You click on the question, it'll show you the different answer choices that it gives for the kids to choose from, and the green check mark tells you that that is the correct answer. Now, sometimes I've come across these where they're asking questions that either I haven't taught my kids yet, but I really want to use this Kahoot, or I feel like that needs to be worded a little bit differently. I can actually go in and edit the Kahoot myself. Now, in order to do that, what you're going to need to do is these 3 dots over here to the side. You've got share. You've got where you can favorite the Kahoot, and that where you can find it really quick. It'll be under your favorites list. But if you hit these 3 dots right here, if you need to make edits, you're going to want to do duplicate first, okay? So once you duplicate it, it's going to come up into your library, and you can see that I've got a few duplications. And a lot of times I don't worry about changing the title of it. I'll just leave it alone, duplicate, then whatever the title of the Kahoot is. And sometimes I'll go in and, like for this one, The Planets by Gustav Holst, I did have to make some fixes to that, because even though Earth and Pluto are not included in the original suite by Holtz, I did talk to the kids, that way we could cover the basic planets that everybody has known growing up. But I definitely made sure to make it clear that Pluto is now classified as a dwarf planet, along with the 4 other dwarf planets in our solar system, and that Earth was used as a frame of reference, and that is the reason, and Pluto wasn't discovered when Holtz was alive. So I made sure to give reasons, but I did include, those some corrections that I wanted to make to that. But once you've got it in your library, you can go into edit if you're wanting to make some edits to this, and this is where it pulls up the Kahoot for you, where you can actually go in and fix it up. And I've actually found some Kahoots, and my kids pick up on this real fast. Every question, like sometimes if you're looking for a Kahoot real quick, like, oh man, I need a quick way to really hammer home this idea we've been talking about. Let me pull up a Kahoot real fast, and I found 1 or 2 Kahoots in the past that every correct answer is in the red. So the kids were just figured it out after like 5 questions. Everything's red, that's correct. So they'll just click red without even thinking. So I have found myself having to go in and switch it around. So let's say that for this particular Kahoot, I don't think that's the case, but for this particular Kahoot, let's say that they chose yellow as all the correct answers. So I want to switch it around. So what I do is I click on the space, and I can highlight that answer. I can cut it and then put it wherever I want it, if I want to put it in another spot. And then I'll go through all the answers and make sure to vary where the correct answers are, so the kids aren't getting complacent. Now, if you look over here to the side underneath me, you're going to notice that you can set the time limit for up to 4 minutes. I find with note names, 30 seconds is usually pretty good. If you got a video that's running, like the Holtz thing, the Kahoot that I pulled down, it was actually videos that you can link in from YouTube for each of the pieces from the Holtz Planet Suite. And I set it for 60 seconds so that the kids would be able to hear at least the first 60 seconds of it and make a determination as to which song from the Planet Suite they think that is. Okay, so I'm going to leave that at 30 though. Points, you can do points. You can set some of the questions to be double points if you want to. You can set something like if you just asking a silly question, like I've come across a questionnaire before, like who's going to win the House Cup, and it was just a random trivia question that we had pulled up for a rainy day Friday, where they had accomplished everything we wanted to do that week, and I wanted to give them kind of a reward. So, and so you can set that for no points. You can set as many correct answers in this as you want. Like that particular question where the person said, "Who's going to win the House Cup?" And it wasn't even Harry Potter stuff. It was just silly stuff. And I'm assuming what that teacher had discussed in their class. And then she just had all of them set as the correct answers, so it didn't really matter what the kids chose. And again, here you can do multi-select, but multi-select where they can select multiple answers before submitting. That is a premium thing that you do have to pay Kahoot for. So I usually just do the single select stuff, no big deal. And you can see that the picture, you can set the image reveal to come up in certain ways. But again, these are all premium things you are going to have to pay for that package. And you can see right here, for even the free version, you can get just quiz, where you can set it up where it's 2, 3, and 4 answers that they're choosing from, or you can set a true false question. But everything else that you're going to try and do, you are going to have to pay for packages to do that. I just choose to keep everything free. So now if you're going through and you found a Kahoot that you like, but there's a question in there that you don't like, or you like, I found Kahoots in the past where they ask the same question twice in a row a lot of times, and maybe they'll have the question like which music notes in the second space, and of course the answer is A. And then the very next slide, they're actually having an A in the second space, but then they asked it again later on about the A again. I'm like, yeah, we need to ask about other things here. So I'll go through, and you see there's a little trash can next to each of the questions. You can duplicate the question if you want. So you can take these and modify them how you want. And even here, you can change the name of the Kahoot, where you have the Kahoot summary. You can, save to my Kahoots. You can change it. Different things like that. You can post a YouTube link where they're coming into the lobby, and there's an actual music video that's being played. There was one that we did on vocal anatomy, and that I pulled the Kahoot down, and whoever had put that Kahoot together had a YouTube lobby video where the kids were logging in with their names and stuff. They had the YouTube lobby video. It was like experiments. So in the background, and I'll show you that in just a second, but in the background where they're putting their names in and stuff, where you're waiting everybody to log into the game before you click start, it actually played this video. There was one where we were doing bass clef notes, and someone had found a video where someone took a parody of Meghan Trainor's All About the Bass, but they changed the lyrics where it was stuff about treble clef and bass clef. It was actually really cute. So you can set a lobby video link there if you want to. You can pick music, and I like to change the music, but I'll do it once they get into the lobby, so I don't do the same Kahoot music each time. I'll go in, and very quickly after I pull the Kahoot up, I'll change the music. It's just to keep it fun and silly and things like that. So let's say I've made all my changes. I'm good to go. I click done, and it'll save all the changes that I just made. Now, when I'm ready, so you see it says unsaved changes because I did a couple of things, but I didn't save it, but oh well. So when you're ready, you can do 2 things. So you got here where you can teach the Kahoot, where basically you're doing it in class, as an in-class thing. The kids are going to need some kind of device to log into to do this. And you can also assign it where you're sending it as a challenge that they can work on at their own pace. Now I haven't used that particular option, but from what I understand, you can. It should be compatible with most learning platforms. I'm sure you could probably post the link on Canvas. I know some of you guys probably use Canvas for virtual learning if you're doing any virtual learning. Some of us have had to use a platform called Schoology. Before we switched to Schoology, my school was using, some of us were using Google Classroom. I think Blackboard is also an option. There's lots of different options out there, so you can explore and see how to make this work with whatever learning platform that you're using for your school. Now, you can even start a single player game with virtual players. You can do a practice. So I'm going to go into teach. Now, when you do the teach, you get two options here. If you each person in your class has their own device, like with my class, before we got computers or Chromebooks for every student in the school, I actually was able to get Title IV funding. And I could do a video on Title IV funding for music technology in your classroom if you guys would like me to. But I did a grant through Title IV funding and was able to get a classroom set of iPads for my classroom and headphones. It's been such a game changer for me in my room, and I will definitely do, if any of you guys are interested, do a video on how I was able to make that happen. But you've got two options here that you can do. Player versus player is where they have their own device, whether it's a Chromebook, an iPad, a tablet of some kind. If your school allows them to use their cell phones in class, they can also do this on their cell phone. It is an app that you can download for free. I have it downloaded to all of my iPads in the classroom. So for my elementary students, first and second graders, they use the iPads in their own classroom, but they don't usually bring them to my room. Sometimes I'll have my elementary third through sixth grade, they'll bring their devices, this past year with what we've all we had to go through, I'll have them bring their devices to my room if there's something specific I want them to do. Or maybe that class, if their class is so big I don't have enough iPads for everybody, we'll do it that way. But for my junior high and high school students, my car students, they all have their own device. But some days, if we don't feel like getting the devices out, if this past year I've had the numbers down where we were able to use, iPads for everybody. Next year, we're going to have to use devices. I've actually got a pretty good bit in my high school car next year, so I'm very excited about that. But so that's for one-on-one. Now for team mode, if you don't have enough devices for everybody, you can split them off into teams. And for team mode, what it is they'll give their team a name, and then underneath that they'll type in all the people that are in their team. So we did Choir Olympics, for example, and we did vocal anatomy quiz as one of their events that they had to do. And what we did was they had different countries that they were designated, so it'd have everybody in that country using kind of like, spreading out, per social distancing rules, but they were kind of behind one person who had the device, and they put in the name of their country and then listed all their team members, and we did country against country. So there is a way to do that. Now, if you have a student who has eyesight issues, maybe can't see from where they're sitting in the room, or they have a disability where they can't see very well, you can click here on show questions and answers on the player's device, and so that it pops up on theirs. Now if I know it's going to be something with sound in it, I'll ask them to mute their device. That way we don't get a whole lot of sound bouncing around the room. So anytime I do that, I do ask them to mute the device. So that's an option. You can go ahead and change the lobby music before you ever get into the game if you want to. You can randomize the order of questions. You can have it randomize the answers for the questions as you go through. Show minimized intro instructions. You've got a lot of different options here that you can do. You can generate friendly nickname generator. Now when they log in, it asks the kids to put in a nickname for themselves, but I ask them to put in their real names. Sometimes with my choir students, if they'll use the same nickname over and over again, so I kind of know who they are. But I teach so many elementary kids, it's hard to keep up with whose nickname is whose. Some of them are using the same ones. So I have them put in their first names at least, and if there's someone in the class that has the same name as them, I'll tell them to put in their last name as well. That way we can designate who's who. And so you go into I'll go into just the classic mode, and when you click on classic on whatever device they're on, they're either going to go to Kahoot.it and type in the game pin, or they'll go to the Kahoot app that you have downloaded on their device, or if you're using a classroom set of devices. And so they'll type in the game code, and then they'll put in their name, and their names are going to pop up. And I always make sure with the elementary kids, or whatever class, to count how many I got, and I'll watch this ticker here. And as soon as I see that number match the number of students I have in my classroom, that's when we start. And you click on start, and right now it's not going to let us do that because I don't have any players in here. But once you click on start, it'll take you, it'll be a gong sound, it'll take you into the game. And on the students screen, they'll see the 4 color choices, the red, blue, green, and yellow, probably not in that order, but they'll see it on their screens. And on your big screen, that you have, you'll see it up where they can see. Now, when I was moving from classroom to classroom, some of the teachers, while we were still doing some virtual learning, some of the teachers had smart boards that I could plug my device into. Some teachers had an older smart board system, so I had to use a projector, but the kids were still able to log in on their devices. Once I got into my classroom and we actually started having the kids get back to a more normal schedule, I was able to display this on my smart board that I have in my classroom. So it'll have the question and everything on your smart board with the answer choices, and inside each color on your big screen, it'll show the answers. And if you've got it set where they can see that on their screen, obviously they'll see it on theirs. And then you go through and I'll read the question, they'll make their selection, and at the end, once you click next, it'll take you into a leaderboard. So you'll see the different leaderboards, and each time the kids go to another question, the points will change and you'll see the leaderboard move around, or you'll get that one kid that's really getting them really fast and correct. They'll usually tend to stay on top. And I try to turn it into a game show where it's just for example, Johnny is number 1 after that question, and look, number 2 Susie, she's only 2 points behind. Watch out, Johnny. And we'll just have fun with it. And the next question, if the leaderboard changes, whoa, man, Susie just took over the lead from Johnny, and look out, Megan, she's jumped into 3rd. So I just try to make it fun for the kids. And I've gotten the comments, you sound like a game show host, and I'm like, well, yeah, I'm doing it on purpose. But we have a lot of fun doing Kahoot. So I hope that helps. And once you're done, it'll show you the podium where it'll show you the top 3, and then underneath it'll show you 4th and 5th place as the runner-up. And on their screen, the kids will be able to see exactly what place they got, whether it's, you've got 20 kids doing it, it'll show you, they'll show on their screen if they're 15th, 14th, 13th, or whatever. So that helps. And let's see, I'm going to leave that. Now you can set it up where you've got collections, like if you want all your music note names in one. Now I probably personally need to do this because I've got all my Kahoots in just one big bleh down the screen, so sometimes I have to search for which Kahoot. So I'll probably spend a little bit of time over the next few weeks trying to get everything organized a little better in preparation for this next school year. But what you can do is you create collection, like this is all my treble and bass clef note ones that I found. These are all my ones that deal with composers. These are all the ones that deal with vocal science, however you want to do it. Or you just, if you want, like me, you can see I've got like tons and tons, show more Kahoots, tons and tons that I have saved. Everything from ear training to just rainy day middle school trivia. My 3rd graders we talk about Beethoven, so we watch the video, Beethoven Lives Upstairs, so we do a Kahoot on it. My 2nd graders do a unit on Carnival of the Animals. And I really, truly, of all the stuff that I have looked for these Kahoots, I have been able to find just thousands upon thousands upon thousands of Kahoots that go with any topic that I can think of I want to cover with the kids. And so I haven't had to create but maybe one Kahoot. I've had to modify several, make sure the answers were typed out correctly. I have found some typos in some of these, some questions that weren't clear on how they were worded. So just make sure that you make it your own. If you want to pay for the more premium versions, go right ahead. It's a lot that you get out of that. But you can function just off the basic version. There's still a lot of options. And even if you don't have the premium version, if you're pulling down, if you find a Kahoot that you want to use that has, they've paid for premium and they've got those premium questions in there, like a puzzle or a type it answer, you can still use those. You just can't create a Kahoot that has it, where you put that question, kind of question in there unless you're paying for it. Or your school district's paying for it. But you can still use a Kahoot that has those premium question styles, even if you're not paying for Kahoot yourself. So again, there's lots of things you can do with just the basic package, but the premium package still offers a lot of great things, so I would definitely recommend going out and doing that, if you're finding that the basic is just not doing what you want it to do. So hopefully that helps. If you have any other questions about Kahoot or different ideas that you could do with Kahoots, if you're having trouble finding different Kahoots to use for your particular topic, please let me know. You could probably look me up on Kahoot, LMH Music Teacher. You could probably find me. Let me go to home and see if my name will pop up and y'all could search me. It doesn't look like it is, but you might be, oh, there it is, LMH Music Teacher. If you want to go through some of my Kahoots, you can go to LMH Music Teacher, just look me up, and you can see all the Kahoots that I've pulled down that I'm using for different units in my classroom. I have really discovered Kahoot this past year, and it's been, you know, really fantastic in the classroom, to the point that once we get to the end of a unit, I've got, you know, my kids like, can we please do a Kahoot? Can we please do a Kahoot? And I'll have to let them know when we have a relevant one. But if it's, I want to give them a reward, like they've had a really good week, or maybe like the end of the school year this past year, we, you know, kind of trying to kill a little bit of time. They've done everything that they're going to do for the school year. I'll pull down a Kahoot. We'll go through music genres, or just fun random trivia. And so we really do have a lot of fun with that. I hope that this helps. I hope that you go and explore Kahoot on your own. And again, please make sure that you visit me at my website, lmhmusicteacher.wixsite.com/my site, and that's Wix with an X, W-I-X. So please make sure to go check out my website for more videos and subscribe. Definitely hit that subscribe button on YouTube. It helps me out so much and shows that you like the content. Make sure to like this video, smash that like button, and smash that subscribe button. Set up notifications for when I do new videos, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye!